Hello YouTube, this is Thonga, your host as always, and today I'll be bringing you another Dawn of War 2 Retribution online commentary video of a 2v2 game on the Maiden Cliff Mines. This game is a victory point capture thingy, whatever it's called, I don't know, but anyway, you get the idea. You basically have to control 3 victory points and you will reduce your opponent's points up here. Each team has 500 points, and if you hold more victory points, you'll slowly start ticking down your opponent's points, and when your points reach zero, you lose. Alright, so anyway, I'm playing as the Red Space Marines. What's happening to the camera here? I'm playing as the Red Space Marines. My hero is the Apothecary. I have a scout unit right here. Phoenix is playing as the Black Eldar. He is the Farseer hero. He is my good friend. And the Pink Space Marines, they have the Force Commander. And White Eldar have the Warp Spider Exarch, and that's his Guardian Squad. So let's get right into things right here. Alright, so the game kicks off with me pushing for this power node. Phoenix is gonna push for this victory point over here, while our opponents do the same on their opposite end of the map. This game is symmetrical about, like, if you draw a straight line through here, the map is pretty much symmetrical throughout. So this map is even to both teams, fair and balanced as always. So anyway, Phoenix has pulled out a second Guardian squad. I'm pulling out my tactical squad, and the Eldar are pulling the Exarch. White Eldar is pulling out a Banshee squad, while Pink Space Marines are pulling out a second tactical squad. So I am pushing in the middle with my tactical squads coming in as well. White Eldar is coming for this requisition point. I am starting to pump up this power node. Pink Space Marine pushing up on the opposite end of this victory point. I am going to take cover with my Marines. I have less cover on this side. So I see these scouts and I immediately back away, but I draw back. Meanwhile, Phoenix is coming in on the opposite side, so I'm pushing my tactical squad. We are going to catch these guys in a pincer, although they form up behind good cover, and Phoenix has no cover out here. So when the Marines start returning fire, Phoenix is going to start to take a beating. He opens fire, the Kraken bolt, and Phoenix's Guardians start to take a beating. He has to retreat one of them. His Farseer, meanwhile, is getting hammered. My Marines are targeting the Force Commander, and we're going to try and force him to retreat quickly. So we do not manage to kill him. I think, yes, he manages to get away. But meanwhile, these guys are outgunned, but the Eldar player is coming in as well. So I put my Marines in the melee. My Marines stand a better chance in melee, and I pummel one of these guys. But he's just kiting my Marines right now, and my Apothecary is busy over here. My Apothecary goes down. So these Eldar, they're taking turns kiting, but these guys have no cover, so I just turn around and start gunning these guys down. I turn on the Kraken bolt, and I gun these guys down and force them to retreat. So me and Phoenix, we are outnumbered here, but we managed to defeat a numerically superior force through teamwork. So now we have control of the center, and we are gonna start capping this point. Meanwhile, the Eldar Banshees are destroying my power node here and are capping it for themselves. So they are gen bashing here in hopes of disrupting our economy. They could have really used that hero. They don't need so many units. If they came into the center of those guys, they could have really wiped the floor, because me and Phoenix wouldn't have had an answer to his Banshees. So I see that Warp Spider appear. My Marines open fire on him, but he shuffles out of range. Meanwhile, my Devastators are opening fire on these Banshees, and I'm pinning them down and peppering them, but they manage to inch away out of range, unfortunately. And now my scouts hit them with a shotgun blast. They managed to kill one of those Banshees, and now my Marines are gunning them down. They have no cover, and they start telling my Marines that my scouts are nearby supporting with shotguns, and these guys have no choice but to retreat. My Apothecary heals these Marines, and now my Marines have cover. The Guardians have to scramble to cover as well, but my Devastators are coming up to support. So these Guardians have no answer to my Devastators. When my Devastators set up, they are too far out of grenade range, so they have no choice but to retreat. Excuse me. So meanwhile, Phoenix has been recovering his strength. I think he was recapping the point here. So now me and Phoenix, we have 2 of the 3 victory points. So we are starting to reduce the blue team's points, victory points over here. So anyway, I'm covering the right side. Phoenix is covering the left side. The Marines, they have quite a large force, and they have Assault Marines as well. I do not have Assault Marines yet. But I do have Devastators. But these Assault Marines are going to be very dangerous to my weapons team right here. So I think they are heading around to launch. They're going to swarm in here, and those assault marines are gonna try and target my Devastator. So Phoenix has some snipers, he guns down 2 guys. This Guardian squad gets absolutely wasted. I have no idea what my tacticals. I was pushing forward here. These guys, they leap over my tacticals and hammer my Devastators. I see them coming and I get away as soon as I see them. And my tacticals are retreating right here. My Apothecary is just tying up these guys, but my Apothecary stands no chance. So Phoenix and we have to retreat, just bail out there. I lose a tactical marine to the Banshees, and Phoenix's snipers are in a bit of trouble. He provides some covering fire of his Guardians, but Phoenix doesn't have an answer to these Guardians. He manages to gun down one of them because they have no cover, and he forces these Guardians away, these Banshees away. But now Phoenix is up against a pretty substantial Marine force, and he has no answer to these Assault Marines. They are very tough at low tiers. Although Phoenix does hurl a grenade in before he runs, so as a little parting FU gift. Phoenix does lose his Farseer, but it's not much of a problem because my Apothecary will be able to revive her quite easily. Meanwhile, I've pulled out Assault Marines of my own. Beaky helmets, they're pretty sweet looking. And paired up the Apothecary, Assault Marines are pretty potent for. So now I'm recovering my point here. I have my Scouts on a harassing mission capping this point, but I'm pulling my Scouts back to support. These guys are destroying our power generator over here. Right, my Assault Marines jump into the fray and start hammering these guys. Meanwhile, my Tacticals are tearing into these Guardians. These Guardians, out of cover, stand no chance against my Tacticals. But my Assault Marines, although they have an advantage, they are going up against the Force Commander, and Tacticals can fight pretty well in the melee as well. And my guys are just like horribly outnumbered and getting shot at from all sides. Meanwhile, Phoenix launches his assault in. I have no choice but to get my guys out there. The Force Commander puts up his Halo shield. So this is gonna reduce damage, and he loses energy instead. Meanwhile, my Scouts hammer these guys with a shotgun blast, and I'm just trying to weaken them. They probably retreated a bit too prematurely, but these guys are very tough, and Phoenix had them in a crossfire with snipers as well. You know, those Guardian squads are getting hammered by Phoenix's troops. He has them in a good crossfire, and his snipers are really hammering them. So now we suppress this Force Commander. Phoenix almost gets shredded by a grenade over there. My Scouts are coming forward to shred these Guardians with their shotguns. And now this Force Commander is all on his own, surrounded on all sides. So we're just gonna shoot her, and he has no choice but to bail out of there. You know, more gen bashing going on my side. I'm tearing into these Banshees with my Assault Marines. A lot of Banshees go down before they finally break away. They lost 2 Banshees, and they have very, very low health. So these guys are gonna be out of fight for a while. So my Marine force is like fully recovered, and I'm moving up to secure the center. So Phoenix and I, using our depleted forces, managed to repel another push, and I am going to tier 2 right now. The Pink Marine has a very heavy infantry force. Actually, we have identical builds right now, except that I have a Devastator squad and he's gone for a tactical squad. So anyway, our opponents have 2 victory points, although Phoenix is moving to recover this point right now. I almost lost my Scout squads, the Guardian Fire, and I was fortunate I didn't lose them. You know, Phoenix has these Space Marines pinned down, but these Assault Marines is not much of a defeat for them to jump over and start tearing this weapons team apart, so we have to be quite careful here. Meanwhile, the Eldar are making a push on our right flank. My Tacticals were out of cover and had to retreat before they got shredded. Meanwhile, we're just drawing them forward, letting them think we're weak, and I draw them into a crossfire. Meanwhile, the Autarch comes in and hammers my Devastators. My Devastators are killed to the last man. Yep, there goes my Devastators. I was pretty upset about that. Meanwhile, my Assault Marines were kiting for a bit, and that gave my Tacticals a chance to shred these Banshees. My Apothecary is getting really hammered, so I'm going to jump in and go for a softer target like these Scouts. Although these Tacticals are tearing into my guys. And now the Spider Exarch has come in. I'm going to tie up these Tacticals in melee. My Apothecary is nowhere to be found. He's probably somewhere in the mix as well. You know, Phoenix has put out an Autarch of his own. I lost a Assault Marine there, although together with Phoenix's heroes, we managed to push these guys back. I have no choice but to pull my Assault Marines back because he has very little health left, but I have a tactical squad, a rocket launcher, and that is not Phoenix's Autarch, that is the White Eldar's Autarch. I was mistaken. That's why my Tacticals are dying so fast. But anyway, me and Phoenix were just ganging up on this woman right now. Even so, even she has tons of support though, and me and Phoenix are outnumbered, and we have no choice but to retreat. Yep. So our opponents have the center again, and I lost my Devastators, which is a really terrible blow to suffer. Phoenix has gone pretty heavy in the tier 1, as have our opponents. Phoenix has not yet teched. Everyone else has teched, but Phoenix has tons of tier 1 units and his snipers as well. So these guys are just doing more gen bashing. Phoenix is setting up his weapons team over here. Pink Marine has lots and lots of infantry. Very dangerous mobile infantry force. And with that Autarch running around, it's going to be very dangerous for us. So I'm just capping this point, this 20 rec point, to do more disruption. 20 rec is quite significant, and the longer you hold a requisition point, the more requisition it gives. So I'm just launching a futile diversionary assault here. Going in with my guys. Does my apothecary have? No, my apothecary only has a sanguine chainsword. That gives him a little more melee staying power. And my assault marines are getting really hammered. They get jumped on by enemy marines, so I have no choice but to get out of there. Fortunately, I do not lose any marines, so it seems. I managed to get 2 model kills on Eldar. Meanwhile, Phoenix was a little slow in launching his assault here, which is why I got ganged up on, and Phoenix is just creeping forward a bit here. But I didn't lose any guys, so it wasn't a major loss. Meanwhile, lots of Eldar troops getting gunned down over here. Phoenix's squads get hammered by grenade. He loses a Guardian squad, and his weapon team is getting hacked up by assault marines. Although Banshees are coming in to the rescue to hammer these pink marines. The Banshees are getting shredded though, so here Phoenix has no choice but to retreat. Excuse me. So on all fronts, Phoenix and our troops are in retreat, and the only thing keeping the victory point balance slightly in our favor is that me and Phoenix control the flanks. Although this point will not be ours for long, but just my scouts running disruption behind the lines is really pestering them. So I'm setting my dudes up here. I know the enemy has a very, very large infantry force, so I am investing and saving up for a dreadnought. There you can see my dreadnought is a melee walker coming up. Eldar player has a bright lance, though I'm not sure why they would have pulled one out unless they knew I was going to pull out a dreadnought, because bright lances are pretty useless against infantry. So Eldar player making a slight rush over here. My tactical marines have good cover though, so these guys, unless they have a weapons team, can't really hurt my guys, but there's not much incentive for them to push forward into our territory because they have the center, so there's a pretty big blob of pink marines over here. So I'm just scouting forward my guys. They get hammered. I forgot to put on infiltration, which is a bit annoying. Meanwhile, Phoenix is that White Eldar's Autarch is pushing back Phoenix's guys. Phoenix's Farseer is going at it with the Autarch, although the Farseer has no chance of beating the Autarch. The Autarch is much more powerful, and this Autarch is a little bubble shield, and therefore she's not really suffering any damage. But now Phoenix's Farseer is taking a real beating. Meanwhile, my Dreadnought has arrived on the scene. I've given it the assault cannon, and it is leading the way and providing serious covering fire for me, while my assault marines lead the fray. So my assault marines jump in inside the radius of the enemy assault marines, where they cannot jump in. My assault marines are getting really hammered over here, and Phoenix he sends his Autarch in and almost kills my own marines at the same time, but he forces the entire marine force to panic and retreat, and we managed to kill the Warp Spider Exarch over there. So I was really lucky I did not lose my assault marines, although they probably would have died anyway if Phoenix had not sent his Autarch in. So yeah, so now we've given ourselves a lot of grieving time, although this marine force is coming back into the play. My Dreadnought took a bit of a pounding from that Bright Lance, so I have to get it repaired before that Bright Lance returns. So my assault marines are busy recovering back at base, so meanwhile Phoenix has a weapons team set up here, so we're pretty well entrenched in the center. The Eldar weapon Bright Lance is setting up, so I'm going to stomp forward on my Dreadnought, and I am going to hammer it with the assault cannon barrage. So and this thing almost dies, and it has to retreat. I probably would have just kept it in the fray because my Dreadnought wouldn't have been able to hit it. I don't know. Meanwhile, while I was busy fighting off this assault over here, Phoenix, he is getting pushed back on this side. His Autarch is getting hammered, and enemy Autarch is tearing into my dudes over here. My Apothecary is facing her in mano to mano combat. His chainsword is the only thing keeping him alive, and with scout support, the Autarch has no choice but to get away. Meanwhile, there's a huge force of Marines over here. They have a rocket launcher, and my Apothecary is really outnumbered. My Assault Marines jump into the fray to the rescue, and I force this enemy Autarch back. So these Marines, they're getting torn in. They do not have the chance to use their rocket launcher, and now my Dreadnought is coming in. Some Guardians tried to come up behind us. They hit my scouts with a grenade, but my Dreadnought came in and just like absolutely shredded them with his assault cannon. So meanwhile, my outnumbered Assault Marines over here with the support of my Apothecary are just tearing these tactical Marines over here. Phoenix's Autarch comes into the fray over here and gives me much needed support, and we destroyed one tactical Marine squad over here. Very expensive investment, especially because they had the Sergeant and the missile launcher. You cannot lose a tactical squad. They cost 450 requisition, extremely expensive and valuable units. Yeah, so anyway, we have control of the center, a little bit tenuous. You know, these Banshees are just wandering into the range of our dudes. My assault cannon is just shredding them a bit. My assault marines is just chopping them up, but they get away, unfortunately. So this force commander comes forward, gets shredded a bit, runs away. Probably shouldn't have run away so quickly if his troops nearby wouldn't have taken too much damage. And anyway, my guys are in no position to pursue them anyway. But in hindsight, lots of things look great, but such is the fog of war, imperfect information. So this is Warp Spider Exarch just whirling on the ground in agony. What a noob. A huge force of Marines coming here to capture this victory point. Phoenix's Guardian, Banshees, really outnumbered. Don't stand much of a chance against such a huge Marine force, especially with Assault Marine support. Trying to knock out this Scout squad, sends them packing, tears into this Marine squad, although really outnumbered, kills one tactical squad, forces the tacticals to retreat, almost wipes them out there, man, kills another tactical squad. So Phoenix's guys are really giving these Marines a pounding of their lives, and actually forces the entire Marine squad to retreat just using one squad and his hero. So that was a great move by Phoenix. One squad and his hero took out 3 squads completely. Meanwhile, Eldar is launching a huge assault over here. Did not get a chance to use my assault cannon. Assault Marines really doing quite well. They have the combat stimulus from the Apothecary, and they're doing tons and tons of damage, backed up by Phoenix's Apothecary. These Eldar do not stand a chance against Assault Marines in the Autarch, and with an assault cannon, Dreadnought blasting them in the background. So meanwhile, White Eldar has given his Autarch a fusion gun, which is highly effective against vehicles, but which is odd considering we only have, well, Phoenix has cranked out a Wraith Lord, so I guess I could see some logic in that, but yeah. So meanwhile, I'm just doing more harassment. The Eldar players are moving to cap this point, but every time they waste time trying to cap this point, that is giving me and Phoenix more time to fortify the center, which I am doing with a plasma cannon squad. So me and Phoenix, his Wraith Lord is hammering these Eldar from the front. He's getting hammered by the Autarch with a fusion gun, but my Assault Marines came in from behind and tore up this tactical squad. I'm gonna hit the Autarch with my Assault Marines now, and the Autarch is trying to get away. My Apothecary gave those scouts a real beating. The Autarch is still trying to pursue the Wraith Lord. Don't see the point because the Wraith Lord is still very healthy, and now my Assault Marines are just tearing into this Autarch, and as mighty war she is with a fusion gun, she can't do much. So she is just trying to kick the Assault Marines about, and yeah, she's trying to escape. And boom! There she goes. The Sergeant just chopped her head off, and with that is pretty much GG, and the enemy surrenders right there. So they probably could have still gone on. I mean, he was pulling out a Dreadnought, and the Eldar had just reached Tech 3. Phoenix was teching to level 3, but they could have come back, I guess, but yeah. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you like the video, subscribe to the video, like the video, and I'll see you guys